Brought to you by Penguin.
Stately Pursuits, written by Katie Fforde and read by Jilly Bond. Prologue. Hetty was humming to herself as she drove up the rutted track to Alistair's cottage. It was a house she loved, a true gem. It had genuine casement windows with diamond panes, a little porch guarding the studded front door, and gingerbread woodwork under the eaves. Hetty would have liked to live in it forever, and longed to see it in summer when the roses that tangled up the side of the building would fill the air with their sweet scent. To Alistair, it was an excellent investment. She parked her car carefully behind Alistair's Porsche and got out, pulling a box of groceries from the back seat. She'd brought all his favourite food. Cheese, single Gloucester with nettle from a specialist cheesemonger in Covent Garden, some wild Scottish salmon, which she had queued half an hour for, and some handmade chocolate truffles. In a freezer bag, she had some ice cream she had made herself. It was the only way she could afford to give him his favourite kind, and she did like to spoil him. She'd made excellent time. It was still only 10 o'clock. They had the whole wonderful weekend to be alone together, and although it was January and the weather was bleak, Hetty loved winter walks, followed by hot buttered crumpets in front of the fire as a reward. She'd bought those, and butter, in case Alistair had forgotten. Using her key as usual when they travelled down separately, she let herself in, put down her box and called, "Alistair, are you in?" She knew he was, because his car was there, and he wasn't an early riser at weekends. He might still be asleep, his soft, floppy hair tumbled across his cheek, his eyelashes long and curly, giving him a schoolboy innocence, which was quite lacking when he was awake. For a moment she wished she hadn't called, but had just tiptoed up so she could wake him with a kiss. But it was too late. "Come up," he called, obviously awake, probably surrounded by newspaper. "I'm in bed." Hetty smiled indulgently, wondering whether he'd stayed in bed so he could welcome her there, or was just having a lie-in. She knew he'd had to go to a dinner party, unofficially business, which was why he'd been unable to bring her down. If it had gone on late, he would be tired. She climbed the twisting staircase, lifted the latch of the bedroom door, and went in. There was no heap of half-read Saturday supplements snuggling up to Alistair. Instead, a tall, slim, blonde woman, several years older than Hetty, and several eons more sophisticated, appeared to be offering him entertainment. The couple did not spring guiltily apart on Hetty's entrance, as convention demanded. They stayed together, Alistair's arm curled defiantly about the woman's shoulders. Hetty stared, unable to make sense of the picture before her, which was made more bizarre by the feeling she had that they were waiting for her. Hetty almost expected them to leap out of bed and tell her she'd won some mysterious prize. But they didn't. They stared back, Alistair looking smug, and the blonde more than a shade uncomfortable. Hetty's disbelief of the obvious melted, leaving behind the sensation that a bad attack of flu was about to claim her. Her head swum. The floor tried to pull her to it with alarming strength. She realised if she wasn't careful, she would faint. "I'm sorry to spring this on you, Hetty," said Alistair, "but there was never anything serious between us, and all good things come to an end. This seemed the best way to tell you." Hetty heard her voice come out of her mouth, apparently without any help from her. "Oh, really? The telephone too conventional for you, was it? You didn't feel you could just slip it into the conversation while we had lunch yesterday?" Alistair shook his head, still insouciant. "I had an important meeting in the afternoon and couldn't handle any extra hassle." Hetty didn't feel anger, she became anger, as hot and lethal as the white...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?